What a fantastic dinner that was, Obama. Those spaghetti and meatballs paired with a glass of apple juice truly hits like nothing else.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Donald. It's not always that Michelle is willing to make extra for you boys.
But even though I enjoyed the meal, I'll still never forgive her for that time when she beat me in Wii Sports.
Oh, come on. Just forget about that already.
Hey guys, what's going on?
You know, it's just surprising seeing how Joe is the one late this time and not Barack.
Well, I've been playing a new game recently.
Oh, no. It better not be what I think it is.
Oh yes, Barack, I started playing Blue Archive, also known as Cunny Archive.
Oh, hell no. Not this shit again.
Don't worry, Donald. At least what we're doing today doesn't contain any lollies.
Oh, what a bummer.
So what are we doing today then?
We're making a Genshin Impact husbando tier list. What's with the awkward silence?
Honestly, I'd rather make a tier list on all the lakes in Genshin than do one on the husbandos.
And I'm just disappointed that there won't be any lollies.
Listen, we already did one for the waifus, so might as well complete it for the rest of the characters.
I mean, I guess so. It's not like we can make a tier list on anything else.
All right, then. Starting with the first one on the list, we have Albedo.
I'd let him use me as one of his test subjects any day of the week.
That's kind of sus there, Joe. I think you could have phrased that a little differently.
Speaking of the character himself, though, I really like his calming personality. Also, not to forget his gorgeous hairstyle.
You wish you'd had one over your fake-ass toupee, am I right?
Joe, we don't talk about that.
But it's a shame his hair got a nerf with his in-game model, though.
But regardless of that one flaw, do you guys think he deserves an S tier?
I can agree to that.
Same.
Next, we got Al Haytham.
Real daddy material, S tier without a doubt.
Any particular reason why?
It's probably because he's the only character with abs.
Is that true, Donald?
No.
Well, anyways, I see no objections. So I'll also place him into S tier. Now on to Ayato.
Ayato is overrated bullshit just because he's got that elegance and intelligence to him. Besides that, he's a walking cardboard.
Who let this man into the kitchen?
Just let him cook, Barack. Let him cook.
His story quest was all dialogue and no action. Nearly passed out like Sleepy Joe there while trying to do it.
Now hold on, guys. Ayato may be somewhat bland, but don't you think he's got that nice drip?
You must be blind in that case, because nowhere in hell are those sleeves stylish in any way. C tier for me.
It's going to be the same for me, too.
A little harsh on Ayato here, but those are some valid points. I like his professionalism, so I'd place him a bit higher. B tier is where he will go.
I'll move there, Barack.
Next we have Baizhu.
There's something about his voice that I can't seem to get over. It's kind of creepy, not gonna lie.
I think what Donald means is that he's afraid of rainbows.
Not trying to get canceled today, Joe.
Well, I mean, as of now, he's not playable yet, so we don't really know too much about his character.
So where do you guys think he belongs in?
I think B tier suits him fine. I think he has the potential to be a cool character.
Agreed. Now what do we think of Bennett?
Sorry, Bennett. Even though you're a god when it comes to gameplay, I just don't see you as being a husbando.
Yeah, I'm also not a fan of his bad luck either.
I think you guys missed the part where he's the most wholesome boy there is. The most innocent one, in fact.
That's still not changing my mind. C tier for me.
I agree with Donald here. Let's just place him in C tier and move on.
All right. Now, up next we have Childe.
I heard Childe. S tier.
Don't tell me you gave him an S tier just because of his name.
I just think he's really badass.
Whatever you say, Joe, I'll also give him an S tier.
Is it because he's from Snezhnaya?
No.
Anyways, it seems like all three of us agree in putting him into S tier. So that's where he'll go. Now on to Chongyun.
Ah, yes, my boy Chungus. Now I'd lick his popsicle if I ever had the chance to.
This guy really out here trying to make the next Boku no Pico live action film.
Now I don't care for this Ghostbuster like Twink. He's going into C tier for me.
Geez, Don, isn't that a little bit cold?
You make another shitty joke like that, and I'll boot you out of this call, all right?
No promises.
Hey, Donald, what about his hangout event?
Honestly, I haven't played any of the dude's hangout events, so I don't really know too much about them.
Makes sense. I guess I'll place him into C tier then.
Speaking of bad jokes, look who it is.
Hey, it's my boy Cyno.
Now, I think in terms of character, he's one of the more interesting ones.
Knowing when to be serious and when to joke around really does make him stand out.
It's almost like you can't say no to him, right? It's almost like you
We
can't...
heard you the first time.
And here you called me cringe just the other day.
Anyways, sounds like we're all in agreement for S tier.
For sure.
Next on the list is D-Luke.
Ah, yes, the Batman of Mondstadt. Gotta be A tier at least.
I feel like D-Luke has trouble moving on from things.
To be fair, I'd rather have trouble moving on from things than having trouble remembering.
Not this joke again, Donald.
You guys forgot to mention his cool skin. He's got some pretty nice drip there. I'll place him into A tier.
Ain't no way I'm paying $40 for a skin, though.
Looks like Guru is next.
Now, in terms of a husbando perspective, I wouldn't really consider him one.
He may be the general of Watatsumi Island, but I think he comes a bit short compared to the other male characters on the list.
Gotta say C tier for this one. I ain't a furry.
Agreed.
I'll place him into C tier for now then. Now we have Itto.
He may be an idiot, but his goofy-ass nature really does make him a fun character to be around.
Itto kind of reminds me of you. An actual clown.
I'm not a clown, Joe.
Then what's with the orange face paint?
Oh, shut it, Joe.
Anyways, I think he's a great character and is deserving of A tier.
Sounds fine with me.
I'd go with B tier, honestly, but I can accept A tier.
Now on to Kaeya.
Arguably one of the more sus characters out here, along with Albedo.
Yeah, too bad we don't get to know too much about him after the Mondstadt arc.
As mysterious as he is, I kind of like his charming personality.
Seems like you've gone soft, just like you do when with Michelle.
Oh, shut it, Donald.
Don't worry, Barack. There's pills for that.
But anyways, I think he's a pretty cool character all around. I'd say B tier for me.
Same.
B tier it is then. Now on to Kazuha.
Looks like this is the first one of the 5 Animo boys on this list.
Speaking of that, what do those fans call that squad again?
I believe they called it Swirl, but they replaced the letter S with the number 5.
How fitting. But going back to Kazuha, though, I think he's easily an S tier.
Yeah, those Spider-Man Crocs hit kind of hard, not gonna lie.
Plus, he also played a crucial part in the Archon's quest, along with being involved with a lot of events. S tier for sure.
Looks like Mika is next.
You know, he kind of takes me back to when I played Final Fantasy back then. Reminds me of those chocobo-looking things.
I don't care for this character, though. Looks like too much of a wimp to me. C tier.
Nostalgia feeling aside, I can agree with that. I personally would go for B tier, but C tier does seem more appropriate. Moving on, we now have Razor.
C tier.
C tier.
Sorry about that, Razor, but as wholesome as you are, I don't think you're able to compete with the rest of the cast in terms of husbando material.
Oh, look at that. It's another Animo user.
Now, the Wanderer is a special case. We've known him since the very first Genshin event and is now finally playable after 2 years later.
Oh yeah, what did you guys name your Wanderer?
Oh, I named mine Scaramussy.
I just named mine Cooney. Nice and simple. What about yours, Joe?
The Bidenator. Like imagine I walk up to an enemy with the Bidenator and he just goes, Kablamo! Doesn't that sound cool?
So anyways, Barack, what tier do you think the Wanderer deserves?
Am I seriously being ignored again?
I feel like we have to place him into at least A tier, otherwise the Skara Simps would be holding pitchforks towards our necks.
Yeah, just wait until you see them go all out on Twitter.
Now on to the Inazuman detective, Heizou.
I remember how when he was first shown, everyone hated his design, but now he seems to be generally accepted.
I'm still not a fan of his design till this day. And don't even get me started on his birthday artwork. Gotta be a C tier for me.
Oh God, don't remind me of that. But regardless, I think he's an alright character. I'll give him B tier.
Even though I still don't find his design that appealing, I'd go with B tier because I can see him being an interesting husbando.
B tier it is then. Thoughts on Thoma?
Ah, yes. Inazuma child. I think he qualifies for being one of the top-rated husbandos. A house husband, if you will.
Don't forget about his long-time commitment being Ayaka's personal maid.
Objectively a good husbando. Can we all agree on that?
100%.
Next up we have Tinari.
I ain't no furry, so he's going into C tier.
Yeah, he's got as little personality as one of Donald's followers.
Oh, thanks for the compliment, Joe.
It wasn't a compliment.
Though he may be a bit bland, I think his intelligence and caring nature bumps him up to a B tier.
Brock's a furry confirmed.
Now we have the Animo Archon Venti.
Hey Donald, have you ever seen Venti hentai before?
No, what the hell? Have you seen them before?
Well, I was curious one day and decided
Don't
to...
even continue what you were about to say. That's one of the most sus shit I've ever heard from you. I'm not even sure if I can get that out of my head.
You can give me head, Barack. I don't mind.
This dude really converted to your average Venti fanboy.
Seems like he missed his meds. But anyways, we're getting a bit off topic.
Yeah, so as for Venti, I don't think people would be too keen on having their husbando be an alcoholic.
You'd think that's the case, but look at Joe here.
I give him an S tier.
Oh God, I'm sticking with B tier. He's not for me.
I think he's a pretty funny character, though. I'll compromise and place him in A tier. What do you guys think of Xiao?
He's kind of like Scaramouche, except he doesn't wear a sombrero. I don't like him. C tier.
S tier.
Something's definitely off with Joe right now.
Don't worry, I've taken my meds.
As much of an emo that Xiao is, I can appreciate the protective and tsundere side to him. I'll place him into A tier.
I'm starting to think Barack's going to become a fan of the Animo Boy band soon.
We're almost done with the list. We now have Xingqiu.
What the hell is that goofy-ass haircut? C tier instantly.
You know it's bad when even Donald here is saying that you have a shitty haircut.
All right, you can drop the jokes about my hair already. It's getting old.
I gotta mention that Xing Cho is also rich, but is that enough to qualify him to be a higher tier?
No!
All right then, C tier he goes. Now last but not least, we got our old man Zhongli.
You guys know how it goes. Big dong, Jong! Big dong, Jong!
Big dong, dong! Big dong, dong! Big dong,
Okay, that's
dong.
enough, guys. And that about wraps it up for the husbandos of Genshin Impact as of now. Big thanks to both of you guys again for being willing enough to do one for this topic.
I still think doing a lake tier list would have been a better idea, but anyways, any plans on what the next tier list should be about?
Not sure about that one, but I'll let you know if something comes up. In the meantime, do you guys want to hang out at McDonald's? I got some coupons that are about to expire.
Oh, how perfect. Can I get the vanilla ice cream?
Whatever you want, Joe. Whatever you want.
All right, let's meet up there in an hour then.
Sounds perfect. See you guys soon.
Adios, amigos.